Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you from Southeast Iowa. Hello, and thank you for stopping by and spending a little bit of crafting time with me today. First, just let me click just a couple things so I can see you. And all right, there we go. All right, so say hello as you jump on where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to all my replay warriors. Hi, Sheila. Yes, it's a windy, cold afternoon here in Iowa. Well, today I have a quick and easy, fun little treat bag. And I'm going to show you a technique using watercolors and Wink of Stella. And thanks to my good friend, Tracy Travis and I want to make sure from Stampin' Queen B, I want to make sure I gave a shout out to her channel. But she used this technique and I love it, and I wanted to share it with all of you. And the treat bag is from another demonstrator, which I will tell you when I start on the treat bag. I did a Rustic Barn tweak it, so I did some changes on the treat bag, but I did get the idea from another demonstrator. Hi, Veronica. How is the weather in Maine? It is windy and chilly here in Iowa. So I'm going to turn the camera down and we're going to get started. Don't forget, at the end of my video is when I do the barn chats. I will be giving away some prizes. I wasn't here last Tuesday, so I'll give some prizes away from the Tuesday before during barn chats and tell you some other things that's going on here at Rustic Barn Cards. But let's go ahead and turn the camera down and let's get started on our project today. So we'll just turn on the windy and 40s. Okay, well, that's about like it is here, I think, in Iowa. Um, Today, April 1st, Stampin' Up! Has launched their last chance. So they refreshed the last chance. So they have added new items to the last chance, which is kind of like our clearance. So they've kind of combined the clearance and last chance. So all of the items from our mini catalog that's current and our annual catalog. So the products that are not carrying over, they have done a refresh, and you'll find those in my shop under last chance. Today we're going to be using the textured floral. I'm just using the stamp set, but there are dies that are with this. And I did want you to know that the stamp set and the dies both are on the last chance list as of today, and they're discounted. So the stamp set is discounted in the United States to $21.60, and the dies that go with this are discounted to $23.80. Now I am going to be using one stamp from Sketched Butterflies. So I'm going to be using a one stamp from Sketch Butterflies for our treat bag today. And Sketch Butterflies is a bundle, and it is on the last chance also, but it is the regular price. So the bundle is the regular price, $49.50. But if you like either one of these um, stamp sets I'm using today, then I would get them before they're gone, because on last chance, once they're gone, they're gone. Hello, Christina. Hello, Judy. Oh, I'm so glad that you are joining me today. All right. Well, today I'm going to start with um, a piece of cardstock, and this is basic white cardstock, and it is 7 by 10. And I am going to make my own designer series paper, and then this will make two treat bags. Now you could use the basic quite thick. If you wanted your treat bags to be just a little bit thicker. And again, I wanted to give a shout out to Angie from Stamping with More. And that's where I got this treat bag idea, although I I'm doing mine a little bit different. So we're going to be using boho blue, which is an in color that will be leaving us soon, oud olive, and petal pink, along with black ink. And we're going to start with the boho blue. So again, we're going to be making our own designer series paper. So I'm going to start with this large flower image, and this image right here from Textured Flora. This is a two-step stamp, but I'm just going to use the one step. I'm just going to use the large flower image. And it might be a little bit better, possibly, if I bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. It gives a little bit of a cushion. And then I'm just going to start right in the middle. We're going to ink this up. I don't think I'm going to use that because I'm going to be, so I'm going to start in the middle, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put one kind of up here. There isn't, just kind of randomly, so there isn't any rhyme or reason, but I could show you the treat bag first, but we'll just do it this way, and you'll be surprised. And then I have several to show you because I used cardstock. I used soft sea foam and stamped on it instead of basic white. So, and I like to kind of sometimes stamp part of the image off of my basic white. I'm kind of looking at it, and I think I'll put one right here. So I think we're finished with the flower. I could put one right there, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to clean that, and then I'm going to come in with our black ink and kind of fill in those flowers. I knew what you meant, Christina, and hello to you. So we're just going to go ahead. There's a stamp in here that just kind of, now there is another stamp that you can add on top of these flowers to make it a little bit fuller, but we're not doing that today. All right, now we're going to come in with our old olive ink, and we're going to come in with this leaf, and this leaf is part of the Textured Flora stamp set. So we'll ink this up, and we're just going to just stamp it randomly on our cardstock. And you'll kind of see this coming together. So we're just making our own designer series paper. I'm sure some of you have done this. If you haven't, give it a try. You can use any stamp set. Do it this way because you can turn it around. Looking at it, I feel like maybe I need one more right here. Put one right there. Okay, so we have leaves. And now we're going to come back with petal pink. And what I love about this stamp set, that it has one of these little splatter stamps. I don't know what you call them, but anyway, I like stamp sets that have uh, this kind of a little splatter image because it's great for filling in things. So I have it here on my block. I'll pick up some of that petal pink, and we're just going to kind of fill in some of those basic white that's kind of showing. So we're just going to kind of use this to just to fill in. And so your treat bag, when you're making your own designer series paper, is going to be different because when you stamp this, you're not going to do it exactly the same. Now, this treat bag, you can use designer series paper for this treat bag, but I find that using cardstock makes it just a little bit more sturdy. Let's see. Okay, what do you think? So again, this is going to make two treat bags. We're just going to make one today. So now I'm going to bring in our trimmer. And since it makes two, then I need to cut this. So again, this is 7 by 10. And we're going to put the short edge of 7 inches at the top. And we're going to cut this in half at 3.5. So then we'll have two pieces. And it'll be 3.5 by 10. Okay? Why doesn't that look the same? I tell you, you know what? I cannot talk and cut at the same time. So this is going to make one treat bag because I can't cut and talk. But you would normally, and I think I do have an extra, you would normally have, if you cut it correctly, 3.5, you can make two treat bags out of that. How about that? All right, now I'm going to bring in our scoring. So I have, this is 3.5 by 10, and I'm going to turn it on the, with the long side across the top of our scoring board. And there's a larger tip and a smaller tip. Now, if you're using, I like using the larger tip for everything, but when you're using designer series paper, you definitely want to use the larger tip because the smaller tip makes more of a crease and indentation, and the smaller tip can tear your designer series paper. So always use the larger tip with designer series paper, but I just always like the larger tip for everything. So we're going to score this 3 times. We're going to score it at 4. We're going to score it at 5. And then we're going to score this at 9. So again, 4, 5, and 9. And those are the only score marks we need. And then we're going to go ahead and fold this up. And looking for my bone folder. Now, when I do fold it up, I am kind of making sure the edges are even here before I use my bone folder to crease that. And then this is the little flap that will be at the top of our treat bag. So you can see this is a pretty easy treat bag. Now, we are going to open it up and we're going to die cut using, you could use any kind of a die, but we're going to use a circle die from Stylish Shapes. But you want to cut it on the flap that does not have you want to cut it on the solid piece that doesn't have this flap here. So you have a flap that folds down. So, but we're going to cut on the side that does not. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to bring in, I have to use the large one because this is too wide to go through a mini. grab. So we're using this circle is the third from the smallest. Now, when you place this here, you want to leave a, a good inch or a little bit more at the top because your flap is going to fold over. Excuse me. So we're going to kind of place this in the middle. I'm just going to use a little sticky to make sure. I'm kind of looking, just eyeing it, make sure that I have it's about in the middle on each side is about the same. I'm going to bring in my well-worn, warped top plate, and we're going to run it through. And then, I mean, you make a lot of these. You can save these and make a card using those. All right, so now we have an opening. And I'm going to bring in these little cello bags. I've had these forever. They are 3 by 4 3/4. So they look like this. But again, they're 3 by 4 3/4. I'm not sure where I found them, probably maybe on Amazon, I don't know. So we're going to put candy in here. Now, if you're giving this to someone that you know, like, I don't know, you could put jelly beans or, so you could put unwrapped candies. This would be a great little treat bag for Easter or any little, or any time of the year. So, but I have wrapped candy, so you can use wrapped candy. And I have some Rolo chocolates. I have some little mini Tootsie Rolls, but I really think it works probably just as well or maybe better with unwrapped candy. But if you're giving it to somebody that you know, that maybe isn't family or whatever, then you might want to use wrapped, and it works too. So this candy here. I did get it's called a Rainbow Twist. I did find it on Amazon. So we're just kind of put it in there. And then these are little cream savers. Uh, and I just found these at the local grocery store. Cream savers hard candy. Something a little bit different. And then you just go ahead and seal this up and then fold it over. And I just take just a piece of Scotch tape to kind of keep that flat. Okay, so that's our candy. Then I'm going to bring in Terran tape. And I'm just putting this inside our card. It's going to be in the inside where the flap is. And that just kind of holds our candy down. So, it'll just hold our candy down like that. And then I'll take your pick tool. Place it like that. And then you're going to come up here. And so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp a sentiment. And we're going to use that watercolor technique that I was telling you about. First, I'm going to bring in with a grateful heart. And again, this is part of the stamp set, textured Flora. Of course, you could use any. You could put happy birthday. You could use any greeting that you wanted. And I have a piece of scrap, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it as close to the edge as I can, just like that. And then I'm going to take some scissors. Now you could take your trimmer, and but we'll see if I can cut that fairly straight. There we go. And then I'm going to turn that over and add some mini dimensionals. Okay, I'm going to lay that aside. And then I'm going to be using our watercolor paper. We have watercolor paper. And I think this is about an inch. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in the butterfly. And this is from the sketched butterfly. Maybe I need that largest piece that's in there. We'll use the larger piece, and I know I have enough room. And so this is 1.5 wide. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in our black ink. And I'm using watercolor paper. I'm just going to stamp this right here, just like that. And then I'm going to be using our iridescent pearls today. And I have dark balmy blue. And I've taken dark balmy blue and I have already colored 3 in dark balmy blue, but I just wanted to show you that you can color our rhinestones, and these are our iridescent pearls, but you can color them. So that's just like 1 coat, but I put 3 coats on this. So you can let it dry and then you can color it again, and then it'll make it a little bit darker. So I just wanted to show you that you can color. As you see, I used another blend to color, but you can use our blends to color um, probably several, but I know iridescent pearls and our basic rhinestones. All right, so now I have stamped our butterfly on our watercolor paper, and I'm going to bring in one of our watercolor pencils, and this is Balmy Blue, and I am going to color just in these 4 wings. Now, as I am adding color, I am pressing hard. I'm pressing, fairly hard as I add the color. So I'm not going to be coloring the entire butterfly. I'm just going to color a little bit on each of the 4 wings. And again, I'm, pressing fairly hard so I can add the color kind of deep. And I'll do it over here. This is a fun technique. I know if you have not tried this, you'll probably want to try it. So you just need a watercolor pencil, Wink of Stella, and some watercolor paper. And I didn't know if everyone knew that we sell watercolor paper. Okay, now I'm going to, so it doesn't look too good. I mean, you just have, it's not all colored. So I'm going to bring our Wink of Stella in. And I should already have it. I don't think I need to press. I think I already have. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pick up the blue. I'm going to pick up that blue and color the rest of it. So, and plus, we're using the Wink of Stella. It also makes it shimmer. And I'm not able to make, I'll bring it up so you can see it. So, well, can you see? I hope you can see that. Maybe I can. Anyway, it shimmers. And so, again, I'm picking up the blue from the watercolor pencil. And then it makes those wings lighter. So and then I'm going to go ahead and color the body. See, you just push that blue out. So picking up the blue, and then so you have a really pretty blue, and of course you could do it any color, shimmery butterfly. Then we'll take the die and run it through the cut and emboss machine, and then you have a butterfly. And I did another one in with Gorgeous Grape, and I don't know. Anyway, it's really shimmery. So we are going to also, we're going to be using, we're making a bow using, this is an online exclusive. It's Basic White. And I think it's it's a 1/4 inch of Basic White. This makes beautiful, beautiful bows. I did not look to see if this is on Last Chance or not, but I already made it into a bow. So now we're ready to put our treat bag together. Now, I am going to leave my treat bag, this flap, just like it is. You could cut it at an angle, and I do have one to show you where I cut the ends at an angle. You could also use a die to maybe have some edges, some pretty edges or something. But I'm going to leave it just like that because it's quick and easy, right? Now, you could use tearing tape. You could use this double-sided tape if you wanted to. You could use Velcro to close it. I'm going to use glue dots. So I am just going to come in with 2 glue dots, and I'm going to put one right here on the inside of the flap and one right there. And then I am going to go ahead and close this up. And I want to try to get it as even as I can on this side and this side. And then it will set up. So let's go ahead and add. And I have several to show you. I have a couple different ones that I made. So I'm going to add with a grateful heart. Try to get about the same amount of space on each side of that. And then we're going to add a regular size dimensional on our butterfly. So we'll come in right in the middle. I'm going to put just one dimensional, and then I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to just curl up those wings. And you could almost really do it, hold in the middle, and then just push it up too. So you could use your bone folder, or you can just hold the middle of the body and do it with your finger. And we'll just put that little butterfly right here. And then let's add, looking for my glue dots that, oh, they're right here in front of me. So I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to bring it to the glue dot. And on this one, I think I'll put it right here. And so here is our quick and easy bag that you can give to someone. And again, you could decorate it for any holiday. It could be a birthday. So, and it stands up just fine. Here is the one. Here's my sample one. Well, I guess we do need to add our iridescent pearls. Of course, you wouldn't have to add any pearl or any embellishments, but I do like to add embellishments. So we'll put one right up here. And we'll put one right there. There we go. So now it's complete. And then here's our sample one. I did not add a butterfly on this one. Okay. But again, if you cut yours 3.5, if you start with a 7x10 and cut it 3.5, then it'll make 2. It'll make 2. And then Another one I did, I didn't add the butterfly, but I used different embellishments. And then I did one using designer series paper. So this is using designer series paper from our last celebration. And I angled the flap and I stamped just to brighten your day. And that comes from a stamp set called Sharing, Loving, Crafting. And it has sharing what I love, loving what I do, happiness inside, crafted with you in mind, and just to brighten your day. And then I just took a regular punch and punched out the circle and added that. So, and then I have one more that I told you I use soft sea foam. So I stamped on soft sea foam, I used Misty Moonlight instead of boho blue, and I used fresh freesia and soft sea foam for the leaves. So I use soft sea foam for the leaves and fresh freesia for the little splatter and then Misty Moonlight. Yeah, so these are a quick and easy treat bag. I hope that you like these. Thanks, Sheila. I'm glad that you like them. So let me start with barn chats and come up and talk to you. All right. Well, I those are really quick and easy, and a 7 by 10. What I like about that is that you can stamp and make your own DSP, and then you can cut it in half, and you can make two treat bags. So they're really quick. Hi, Rita. I'm glad that you like them. Hi, Christina. I'm glad that you like the treat bags too. Well, I'm going to give prizes first, and then I'm going to talk to you about these why I was not here last Tuesday. And but remember that you can. I'm going to give prizes out next week because I wasn't here last week's because I'm giving prizes for the whole month of March for leaving a comment, sharing my video, and anyone who places orders this week. So let me grab. Let me see where I laid the. Ah, here we are. All right, I got prizes. Okay, so this would be for March 18th because I wasn't here last week. So, congratulations to the winner for the random drawing of leaving a comment. Um, Christina Bullen, you won for leaving a comment uh, the last time I was live. So, congratulations. Package of basic rhinestones. Christina, I'm not sure if I have your address. It seemed like I should, but I'm not sure. So if you could email me at rusticbarncards at gmail.com. So rusticbarncards at gmail.com with your address. I'll get those in the mail to you this week. All right. Congratulations. It's always fun when the person that wins is on. Okay, congratulations to the random winner of the drawing for sharing my video. And Myra Kerger, Kerger. I have a package of thoughtful journey, memories, and more cards to go out to you. And I do not have your email, or excuse me, I do not have your address. So please send that to me. Good, Christina. I'm glad that you are on, and yes, and that you won. So Myra, please again email me at rusticbarncards at gmail.com and I'll get those memories and more cards out to you. And then for ordering with me this past week, um, congratulations to the random drawing for placing an order with me. And Cheryl Waters from Ohio, you're going to be getting the garden greenhouse, and it's a stamp set and a bundle. So it has dies to go with it. And I do have your address. So thank you. And so now I'm going to talk to you about, okay, so I wasn't here last Tuesday and I did post why, but I've been having these little flying bugs, insects, I guess, that look like they look like ladybugs, but they're not ladybugs. They're a little more aggressive and they can kind of bite. I didn't have any that bite, but they were just all over my ceiling and they would fly around and they were just very annoying up here in my craft room. And I'd had enough. There was a few in the downstairs in our house, mostly by the window in the bathroom. So I had a guy come and spray, and he fogged up here in the craft room, so I couldn't even. And he came, of course, last Tuesday because that's when he would come when I was going to do my live. But I was not supposed to come up here for the whole day. And then Wednesday when I came up, I like got an instant headache, so I opened the window and let some air in. And he did spray downstairs, but he did not fog downstairs because we were not going to leave the house. So, actually, I've maybe seen two live ones up here in the craft room. Today, I haven't seen any. So that's really great. But downstairs in the bathroom, by the window, we have a lot more than we did before he sprayed. So I am thinking that that they packed up and they moved downstairs. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I may have to have him come back, and he may have to at least fog the bathroom, and then we'll have to leave the house probably for a while. But I don't know if any of you are having that problem or not. But from what he said, that a lot of people, at least here in Iowa, are, especially if you live in rural Iowa, where I do. Um, and also I guess with flies, because our winter, even though we had several, it seemed like very cold days, it didn't, I guess it didn't freeze hard enough, long enough for a lot of insects and things to, to take care of them. So that's why I guess, but from what he said, I guess I shouldn't complain because I guess it's a lot worse in other some other houses than mine. So I guess I'll be happy. But anyway, that's why I wasn't here last Tuesday. Before I leave, though, I would like to share about my April club. My Rustic Ink Creations is my subscription for my club. Club went out. I think club members are getting their packages today. A lot of them are getting them today. I sent out a tracking number. I will be sending out the tutorials for my club members today. And but I'm going to turn or actually I don't need to turn the camera down. I can just share with you right now. So my if you would like to join club, it's $44 a month. You can suspend or cancel any time. You'll make 6 projects, 2 of each of my 3 designs. I'm going to be using Meant to Be bundle, and we're using Petunia Pop, Oat Olive, and Black ink. So just 3 inks next month. And if you would like to see the cards, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. And if you're a club member and you don't want to see them, then just turn away. But here is one of the cards for our April club. And you'll get 2 of each of these. And then here's another one. And then the third one has a little belly band, and it says we are meant to be, and we're using Petunia Pop ribbon. Take off a sticky note on the back. And then here it is, and then wait for it, and then it opens up. And so I'm going to add a small piece of basic white cardstock here, so you have a room to write. So, I mean, you could write on the back, but I'm just going to put a small so you still can see the pretty designer series paper. And again, then the belly band just slides back on. And again, 6 cards, 2 of each of those. All right, and in the description, you can read all about Club for April. Thank you for being here. Good. It's like you like one of the April cards. I had fun designing. I think they're such spring looking. I mean, hopefully, spring is here, so officially by the calendar, and hopefully the weather will turn spring like here in Iowa and maybe wherever you're at too. if you're not where the spring is at. But I think the cards for April are really spring and spring colors and spring looking. Okay, well, I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Thanks for hanging out with me. Give those treat bags a try. They're quick and easy, and I will see